Okay, we're back. And it's the Brad and Squeeze Show. The last of its kind on 93.5. I have to rub that in.
The last
of its kind.
Of its kind. Maybe there'll be a different kind.
Well, there's only one Brad and Squeeze.
There's only one Brad and Squeeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
maybe Squeeze and Joe. Squeeze and Joe.
Squeeze and who?
Mary. Samantha. Squeeze and Samantha.
I'm not squeezing anyone.
No?
No.
My mic is on.
Your mic is on?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Mine is on too.
Oh, my mic is not on. This is what I got to do. I got to do this.
Yeah.
I had nobody to dress me today. Patrice is out. Sick.
Sorry, grown man talking about not having someone to dress him. Welcome to the Brad and Squeeze Show. 93.5 FM listeners. The number is 1-800-529-5465. Give us a call right now. And Jeff Bossy, good for you.
Yeah, Squeeze.
By the way, Jeff Bossy, good for you, because you want to know what? Everyone is listening to Brad and this whole lambasting that he does every single day. Every opportunity that he gets to take a
swipe.
No, I don't want to use the word swipe. A jab at me.
Yeah.
He does. Well, every opportunity.
Jeff Bossy said that his American dream, just so for the people on WVIP,
is to see if Squeeze
shows up on time.
Right. But the irony of this whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, is when Brad chooses to be out, guess what? He's absent. There is no show. No one is lambasting him for that when he chooses to be out. When Brad chooses to take his vacation, why is it I have to take my vacation when he takes his vacation? Nope. So, Jeff Bossy, good for you. You know what good for you means, right, Brad? Good for you.
Go.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
I will get back.
GFY.
I will get Jeff Bossy. But once again, we're now ready to take your immigration questions. So call us, 1-800-529-5465, or place your questions on the Facebook page, Brad and Squeeze. Do remember that tomorrow it starts in the evening at 5:30 on the PM. And the Brad and Squeeze Show will exclusively now be on Facebook, starting tomorrow at 5:30 PM.
Correct.
For 2 solid hours. All right? So make sure you check that out. All right?
By the way, everybody wants us to have
Let me take a jab at Brad. I got to come in for just 2 hours. I got to come in for this 2-hour show. That's my jab at you, man. I had to come in for a 1-hour show today.
Yeah. Squeeze wanted to stay at broadcast from his studio, from home.
I can.
I know you can. You have that ability.
Yes.
Right. And I said, Squeeze, the show is much better when we're together here.
No, I think you just like having me next to you.
So Squeeze,
you like having someone to lambast there. Because I could sit here and do absolutely nothing, not even say a word, and he's happy with that.
So Squeeze walks in, and he looks at me, and he says, I'm here for my 1-hour show. It's like he's going on the boat on Gilligan Island. I'm here for my 3-hour tour.
1-hour show.
Okay, so I had some choice words for him.
Yeah, some very choice words. Let me take out my juice here, man.
So that's what's going on. Meanwhile, it could be worse, Squeeze.
You know what? I realize they don't put the camera on me when they're supposed to, but they put the camera on me when they're not supposed to.
Yeah. That's the way we do it here at the Brad.
The camera is only on Brad, the whole time. But then when we go to the SMG segment and I'm typing away, the camera's on me.
Yes. That's how we do it here at the Brad and Squeeze Show.
I'm just busting balls.
That's how we do it. Squeeze is swiping at everybody.
I'm busting balls,
I want you to know, poor Brittany, she's the sweetest woman, does our camera operator, and you're
You know what? I went back through all the show.
You're going after Brittany now.
And I calculated the percentage of time I'm actually on camera.
Let me say this then. If you actually did that, you have way too much time on your hands.
You want to know what the percentage?
Let me give you some more productive things to do with your life.
7.8%.
Let me give you some more productive things to do with your life. Maybe we should call it the Brad at 7% of Squeeze.
Exactly. That's it.
The Brad at 7% of Squeeze Show coming to you live.
You need just for men.
I need more than just for men.
Okay.
I need a lot more than just for men, Squeeze.
You need die, period.
Die or I should die.
No, die.
You don't want me to die. Meanwhile,
what's happening in the?
Well, just some,
what do we have to
some
talk
stuff I kind of came across here. You know, I'm obsessed with that. That the false nuclear.
Let me guess. You're going to talk about Donald Trump.
No. I'm obsessed with the false nuclear alert in Hawaii last month. And I keep thinking to myself, oh my God, can you imagine if you actually live there and you get this text message that everyone's going to die in the next 15 minutes? Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, incoming missile, and everyone's freaking out. And apparently they claimed it was that there was a worker in the emergency management system in Hawaii who pressed the wrong button.
Right.
That wasn't really the case.
What was the case?
Okay. What happened is that they were testing their emergency management system.
Right.
And the man or woman who was testing the emergency management system told the day workers who pressed the button to send out the mass text, we're going to be testing this. The day workers didn't tell the night worker who presses the button that they're going to be testing this. So they go and do the test, and this poor night worker gets this test, incoming missile. So he goes back to whoever sends him the notification to go press the button. Are you serious? Now, they're testing it, so they're following yes, we are serious. And he goes back, he goes, are you sure you want me to do this? And they say yes. Now, on one side of the phone, they're doing a test, a mock, if this was really an emergency. But this guy on the other side of the phone was never notified that this is a test. And he goes and he presses the button. Incoming, he thinks he's going to die. Everyone in Hawaii thinks they're going to die. It's mass chaos. Dogs and cats sleeping together. Nobody knew what to do, Squeeze. You know what movie that's from? Dogs and cats sleeping together? Mass
Can I be
chaos?
a little bit cynical?
What?
If you're going to die, you're going to die. But here's what I'm saying.
You know what my father said, by the way?
What?
I said, what would you do if you got a text message? He goes, I'd go out on my balcony and I'd watch the missile come in and that's it. He goes, what are you going to do? Where are you running?
Yeah. And same thing. I was in the elevator yesterday. Right.
Look at that. Missile alert in error. There is no threat. That was.
I was in the elevator yesterday. Right.
Right.
So you have, the elevators in my building for a luxury building is always having a problem.
Always having problems. Right. You have no idea.
Having problems.
Every time you get in the elevator, Squeeze doesn't know if he's going to actually make it or he's actually going to get out alive.
Or if I'm going to die.
Right.
So I was in the elevator. The guy's operating the elevator. I mean, we have 3 elevators, and only one was working. The one that carried the workers up, in the building.
Right.
Got in there. About 10 teenage kids, girls came on the elevator. Evidently, one of them live in a building, and
they're having a whole party.
They're having a whole party.
Okay, teenage girl party.
Right. And then there's another big dude in the elevator, and the guy operating the elevator. I get on.
Now, is it big dude, muscular guy, or big fat guy?
Big fat guy.
Big fat guy. All right. So this is what the elevator looks like.
You actually have 2 big fat guys because the one operating is a big fat guy.
The big fat guy operating the elevator, another big fat guy, 10 teenage girls, and Squeeze walks in an elevator.
And I walk in the elevator.
This is like the start of a joke.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's not a joke.
But it starts like a joke. Squeeze walks in an elevator with 10 teenage girls and a fat guy. One says to the other.
I walk in the elevator. The elevator goes up 3 flights. Okay. The guy's pressing the button. Don't know what he's doing. And I'm looking at him like, what?
Right.
Anyway, the elevator stops. And then free fall, dropped 3 floors to the first floor. Just went, you can feel it. And when you feel that in your stomach? It fell 3 floors.
And then the emergency brakes had to kick in.
Yeah, exactly. And then it stopped.
Was everybody screaming?
And everybody's knee
Was
bent.
everybody screaming?
All the girls are screaming. The 2 big fat dudes in the elevator
They had
screaming.
a heart attack.
Everybody is screaming. And I'm there.
Calm as a cucumber.
Calm as a cucumber. So everybody in the elevator like, what's with you?
Right.
How come you're not panicking and all of that? I'm like,
First of all, I'm Squeeze.
No, first of all, I said to them,
I'm Squeeze and I'm in distress.
I said the address of the building I'm in. First of all, I am in X blah blah address building, meaning being sarcastic.
Right.
And then second of all, if we're all gonna die, we're just gonna die. So it's
Why
a big deal. Why am I gonna get? You're gonna die. So what would you do if the missile was coming in?
I would run.
Missile, whichever you want to call it.
I would run, but I would end up running in circles until I died. I would just go, ah! We have pictures.
You know what I would do?
I don't know if we still have it.
I would get on a conference call with my kids.
Actually, that's very true. Actually,
that's what I would do.
Actually, I wouldn't be running in circles.
I would get on a conference call with my kids and say, "Hey, listen, guess what? We're gonna go to a much better place right now. So just chill out. Don't get upset.
I want to make sure that I get a last telephone call in with them. And we actually
just in case we end up in separate places.
Yeah, we actually have a video. I don't know if we can pull it up or not, but we actually have a video of when they first announced the missile coming in. That people were literally running into a store or running out of a store. Look at that. Where are they running to? What are they going to do by running? Where are you going? Missile's coming. You're dead. What is running going to do?
But you know what? They're actually selling bunkers now. You know you can buy a bunker.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I asked Jill to look up. I said, could this happen in New York? Can you imagine if this happened in New York? The mass chaos? Apparently, the episode in Hawaii revealed major differences in how the alerts are carried out from state to state. Every state does their own system. In places like Houston, Chicago, and New York City, tests and real alerts are not kept in the same drop-down menu. And at least one person's approval is required to send out an alert. There was no approval. It was just somebody called in the alert, and the guy goes, "Are you sure?" And they said yes, and he goes, "Okay, boom."
If there's a nuclear war, I'm going to Jamaica, man.
You won't make it in time. And meanwhile, this poor guy got arrested. I mean, got fired from his job. I'm so used to saying the word arrested. Got fired from his job.
Why?
Why did he get fired from his job?
Yeah.
Because he sent out panic.
Yeah, but
it wasn't his fault.
But it wasn't his fault. That's a huge lawsuit right there.
Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you ask people to share, and let's get to
excuse me,
immigration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have realized that the shares are down. Is this a wire hanging in my back? See, you're right. I got the wire on wrong. By the way, folks, we're a very real show here.
By the way, Nadisha has a good idea. Nadisha Gooden.
Nadisha, what's your idea?
She says on Facebook, Brad, just run behind the missile. That would be great if the missile just shoots in one area.
Yeah, but if you're running behind the missile,
if you run behind the missile,
then you're still going to get blown up.
You're going to get blown up because the missile goes like this.
You're going to be the first to really get it. You know. Anyway, by the way, folks, if you're on Facebook right now, we're going to ask you please to actually share. Okay. Share on your timeline, share with all of your friends, you know, and tell them to share also about the show. And don't forget, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., that's when we're going to be doing the next edition of Brad and Squeeze exclusively on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube also. All right? Let's get to some calls,
a lot of people have a lot of theories on what to do. Lisa Bling Rose says they were running for training for the Olympics. Tamika Nelson says she would just get a drink with you, Squeeze, and
but if there's a what happens after a nuclear missile hits?
Depending on how big the explosive is in the nuclear missile, but probably there's a huge blast and a huge fire inferno. So it's not the actual missile hitting, it's the heat and the fire that emanates from it. I don't know how far it goes, but I think it would go really far. It would melt buildings. It would be like 9/11, where the buildings are collapsing. People in buildings, inside the buildings, would collapse. And then people directly there may just get burned to death before the buildings collapse. How far out it goes, I don't know. I'm not a nuclear warhead expert. All I know is that I wouldn't want to be around after, because those who survive will have nuclear fallout. In other words, the radiation goes up into the atmosphere, and then when it rains, the radiation goes back down and rains on you. And then you will have a slow death of cancer after you have survived this horrific event. And where's the hospital to cure you for the cancer? Doesn't exist. Where the doctors, they all died or have cancer themselves. How are they going to get
I see you put a lot of thought into this, Brad.
That's why you sit there and you don't run and you say,
you put a lot of thought into this.
You say, God, I'm coming to meet you. Okay? You don't want to be around after. I have given thought to this.
I can see.
Yes.
You have details. I
That's
never
right.
thought that far.
And meanwhile, I hate to bring in Donald Trump, but he's the one who's advocating. He's the one advocating a strike against Korea because they have the. I mean, even last night in his State of the Union, I read he advocated it again. It's scary. It's very, very scary, Squeeze.
Very. Well, anyway, we're here to do the Brad and Squeeze show.
Yes.
And we're going to be catching up with one of the other attorneys real soon. I don't know why this is on my desk here. Yeah. This is what happens when Patrice and Kim is out. Shadon is coming on later.
Correct.
One of my favorite
Attorneys.
All
All right, let's go to Barry and Bethlehem.
You know what I like about your
Let's
law
not
firm?
go to Barry.
You know what I like about your law firm?
What do you like about my law
Your
firm?
law firm is like the United Nations.
It is the United Nations.
You know, I really like that. And I know you probably did not go out and pick people from different ethnicities. You just picked them by how solid they were as an attorney.
I will say this.
Yeah.
Okay? And I know this for a fact because I practiced it myself. As I started off.
And it's mostly women too.
Yes. I started off as a solo practitioner. I didn't have a lot of employees. I think I had, one or two employees that were left over from my grandfather, but I mean, nothing, okay? Small little law firm. Every time I hired people, I would go through the interview process and I hired whoever I thought was the best for that particular job. Didn't matter whether they were black, they were green, they were yellow, they were white, they were a woman,
You ever hired
they were
a yellow
man.
person?
I don't think there are yellow people.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm just the purple. I'm being facetious. And it didn't matter their age. I just hired whoever I thought was the best for that particular job. And I've done it historically and consistently over my career. It's not like I did it for 1 year and then I didn't do it for another year. In New York City, maybe in other areas where it's not as ethnically diverse, maybe I could understand not having an ethnically diverse office. But in New York City, where it is so ethnically diverse, to not have an office that looks like Spar and Bernstein, somebody was doing something and hiring
would be doing something.
and hiring based on something other than who was the best for that job. I mean, sometimes you walk into offices, it's all white. Sometimes you walk into offices, it's all black.
Right.
Okay? Sometimes you walk into offices, it's all Asian or all Hispanic. If you are really hiring colorblind and religious blind in New York City, you would end up like Spar and Bernstein. You would absolutely end up like that.
As we would say, true.
So it's not like I went out. It's not like I went out and I woke up and I said, okay, as I hire, I got to make sure I got 3 black people, 2 Hispanics. It's just one age. It's not like I ever thought that process. The process was, I'm going to hire whoever's the best for the job. And you want to know what happens? We have an ethnically diverse group.
Does affirmative action still exist?
What do you mean?
They used to have this thing called affirmative. That's what they call it? Yeah, I think that's what they call it, affirmative action.
Affirmative action maybe for government jobs, but not private. Yeah.
Well, they used to have that. But anyway, we can go to the call now.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Anything else?
No.
You want to talk about the Peacock that got kicked off the United Airlines flight?
We can talk about the 1 hour I'm in to do the show.
Yeah. The 1 hour. The 1 hour. The hour's running up fast. Squeeze, he has like one of those old taxi medallion things where he pushes the thing and then the time starts going.